age, usually we will be very instinctive about the way we respond to people and situations and the way we work and everything that we do. But the way even that we can come to understand our moon and our sun and so on is the ascendant, the rising sign. It's the doorway in. Sometimes it's very, very hard to realize the ascendant. The ascendant is it's something that can be a little hidden, and until you find the key to open that door, it's harder to get in touch with the different planets. What happens is that you act more on instinct, so that the different levels of consciousness, when you're not aware of the ascendant and the way that you work with it, you're much more instinctual. So it's rather like psychology in the sense that you want to get to know as much about your patterns and the way you work and the doorway as to how this can work for you. So I would suggest very strongly that most people, if you can, that you find out exactly what the ascendant is. And then when you listen to the radio or television or read the newspaper, when you are looking at the sun sign columns, you look underneath that which is your ascendant. So if you have the ascendant in Libra, you would read that first, and the sun in Scorpio, you would read that second, because it's really the ascendant that is setting up the patterns of the chart. So that's the way you would want to do it to start with. I could give a little bit of a description. Oh, is there a telephone call?
Yeah, Mary, we have Candace, I believe, on the phone. Her birthday is April 13th, 1961. She's watching your show on cable channel 12 in Mohegan Lake. And once again, I believe it's Candace. Yeah, Candace. April 13th, 1961 is her
Hi,
her
Candace.
date.
Hi.
Did you have a particular question, Candace?
I need to know about health and finance.
Health and finance, okay. April 13th, 1961. Okay, you have all of these planets in Aries. Have I talked to you before, Candace? Yes? Okay. Let's see, you have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Venus all in the sign of Aries. You have Mars in Cancer. You're not working now, are you?
No, I'm not.
No. Are you looking to have you got an idea of the way that you would like to work?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Is it something to do with starting your own business or creating something new?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Have you had any experience in doing something like this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you have. Could I ask what it is?
I used to be a cook.
A cook? Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. You have Mars in Cancer, which is the sign of the home. Mars is our energy. So it's, you would feel very good about, doing anything with cooking. I think that's a great idea. How would you do it? Are you going to go work in a restaurant? Are you going to start one? Or are you going to do some catering?
I really don't know yet at this point. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think catering would be a good thing for you to do. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Oh, yes.
Because I think you could maybe go and find a company that, does that and start. It's always better, I think, to work with someone first if you haven't started your own business. You haven't done that, have you?
Yeah, no.
No. If you haven't started your own business before, I think it's better to go observe and work with someone else, before you put the investment into starting your own. But I think that that's a very, very good place for you. I mean, I think that you would enjoy it and so on. Is there a particular kind of food that you like to cook?
Everything.
Everything?
Do everything, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's a very good thing. And what is it exactly with your health? Is there something in particular that's a problem?
I'm trying to figure out about cancer.
For yourself?
Myself, yes.
Well,
I had lumps removed, but they weren't cancerous, so I got to go back. I'm trying to find out.
Right. The indication is that I don't see you having a major health problem right now. I think that it's probably more a question of getting out of the house and doing things that are of interest to you. I think that the nature of something like cancer can be, both physical and, in your mind. It can be something that can eat away at you. So it's better to not, spend a lot of time thinking about it. And I think that it's probably extremely unlikely. With all these planets in Aries, the tendency is more to have things that would go wrong of a surgical nature. So it's understandable that you would have polyps or whatever it is that might be, need to be taken out. But I think it's unlikely that you have cancer. It's certainly good to keep your eye on it and so on, but I think you should get out and go get that job with the catering company or even in a restaurant if you can.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Michelle is taking your calls, the astrologer, at 241-1310. And Mary, we have another caller. Wendy from Mohegan Lake is watching on cable channel 12. Her birthday is September 25th, 1959. September 25th, 1959.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Is there a particular question that you had?
No, just, what do the stars say for the upcoming year, I guess?
Okay. September 25th, 1959. Okay, you have the sun in Libra and the moon in Cancer. You have Mercury in Libra, Venus in Leo. Are you married?
No.
You're not married?
No.
Well...
It's relationship, though.
You're in a relationship. I'm sorry, did you say you were in a relationship?
Hmm?
Yeah. I mean, you're somebody that, you have a lot of planets in Libra. You have the Sun and Mercury and Mars. Mercury and Mars are the love planets, and they're both in the sign of Libra. Libra is, it's the sign of relationships. It's about working with other people, and usually Libras are people that need to be, in relationships. They can't. It's very, very infrequent that you would see a Libra that doesn't have one. I mean, sometimes they might be a little unusual, and it might not be traditional relationships and so on, but there is, they're not the types that would be hermits as a rule. With the moon in Cancer, it's kind of a hard angle. I mean, it is a hard angle. The sun and the moon are not... that happy together. It usually puts more of a struggle on your ability to understand what exactly the unconscious needs. There's a side of you that quite wants to be a mother. Are you a mother?
Mm-hmm.
And, at times, the personal relationships or your job or so on might take priority over being the mother. So it might be this struggle, this back and forth. But with the moon in Cancer, the moon's at home, as a rule that means that you are, a very good mother, that your abilities to nurture and take care of people and so on are very good. Was there a particular question about the future that you wanted to ask me?
I think just, where is this relationship I'm in going?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're all of this Libra and the Cancer and so on. It's cardinal. You are someone that kind of likes to be in charge. Do you have some power conflicts sometimes with your partner? I mean,
Sure, he's a Cancer.
He's a Cancer. Okay. Well, in your own ways, you both want to rule, and sometimes it can be a little demanding. That it can be difficult because you both want to be in charge, and you're going to go about it so totally differently. Your moon, the moon in Cancer, supports his sun in Cancer. They say that it's the ideal for a relationship when a man's sun is supported by the woman's moon. So, in many ways, there's probably a strong karmic tie to your relationship. Do you feel that about him?
Yeah.
Have you been with him a long time?
About a year.
Yeah.
About a year and a half.
Well, I would say that you probably have a lot to work out with this fellow, and as long as you can stay in the relationship and observe your ways of relating to him, and what it brings out in you, the better off you'll be. I think it's always difficult to change relationships, because if you go on to the next one, unless you've resolved the one you're in, you will repeat the same patterns. So I hope I've been of help. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Wendy, and thank you, Mary Michele. Mary, we're going to take a little break, okay? We'll remind the listeners, of course, and the viewers of your phone number there, 241-1310. Mary Michele, the astrologer here, answering your questions, 241-1310. Mary, if you wouldn't mind, would you mind looking at my stars?
Okay.
My birthday is October 28th, 1965. And we'll take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll talk about what's going on in my life.
Arroway Chevrolet Geo Saab in Katona has been busier than usual. They've sold a lot of Chevys, Geos, and Saabs in the last few months, and they're ready to deliver a lot more. There's plenty of inventory on its way to Arroway, and that means good news for you. They'd like to invite you down to Arroway to take advantage of their low prices. And not only that, you'll be able to experience firsthand how their sales and service staff at Arroway really treats you right. That's why so many people keep coming back to Arroway again and again. You'll never get the runaround when you shop at Arroway. That's why Arroway has one of the top 10 customer satisfaction rating indexes in the entire United States. It takes a lot of happy customers to achieve an award like that. So head on down to Arroway Chevrolet Geo Saab in Katona, take a test drive, check out the savings, and join their family of friends at Arroway. You'll find them on North Bedford Road, Katona. Remember, at Arroway, you'll find savings in every direction. Hurry down to Arroway Chevrolet Geo Saab in Katona today.
You know, there's a lot of great shows on cable, but what I want to know is, how can I find out what's really worth watching?
On cable.
Of course on cable. That's what I'm talking about. How do I find the best stuff on cable?
That's where.
What's where?
On cable from E! Entertainment Television. Every week you'll see previews of the best movies, sports, specials, documentaries.
On cable?
Sure. They'll even tell you how to find shows the whole family can watch together without blindfolding the kids.
They'll tell me on cable?
Certainly.
But what's the name of the show?
On cable.
So, if I want to find out what's on cable, I have to watch on cable?
Now, that's the first thing you've said that makes any sense.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
And to order, call Cablevision of Yorktown, 962-4444.
I get it. The name of the show is On Cable.
Right. It's the show to watch before you watch.
Oh, wait a minute. I should watch the show before I watch?
Naturally.
I'm going to take up baseball.
AM 1310 WVIP. Good morning. This is Marty McCabe, and this is the Mary Michele Show, the astrologer here on WVIP, and we're chatting about astrology and the stars. And I asked right before the break, I asked Mary, what's it look like, I guess, for the next 6 months or so, and in the next year of my life. There's a lot going on, which I guess, as we talk, I'll share with you. I gave you my birthday, and so what's it look like for me?
Okay, you have the sun in Scorpio, which I'm sure that you know, and you have the moon in Sagittarius. You have Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Sagittarius, Mars in Sagittarius. There's a lot of Sagittarian energy here, even though you've got, a couple of things in Scorpio. It's Sagittarius is about world travelers, people that like to move around. It's about philosophy. It's about really higher learning. Someone that has a lot of Sagittarius is someone that likes to study continuously, whether it has to do with philosophy or religion or the law or science or medicine or, something along those lines. And lots of times if someone doesn't have the ability to physically travel and go to different cultures to observe how other people handle these things, they will travel in their mind, or they'll do a lot of reading, or they will, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. With the moon in Sagittarius, the moon as a rule will represent the primary care person in our life. So the moon in Sagittarius usually we say is the mother, or the moon is the mother. So the indication with the moon in Sagittarius would be that the mother might have been someone that was quite inspirational along those lines. Was your mother someone that taught? Or
well, I guess in her own right, yes, but not really on a huge level, just the immediate family level. But speaking of Sagittarius, my girlfriend is Sagittarius, so I don't know if that makes a difference or if it adds to what's going on.
Well, it's the feminine principle. You see, the moon is feminine, and the girlfriend is feminine, and
right.
It's the projection of your feminine onto another person. So it's how you. It's interesting always when to me this is an example of astrology working, because the moon is in Sagittarius, and what did you attract? You attracted a female Sagittarius. So it's an indication that this is the way that it's working, that astrology makes sense. Is your girlfriend involved in travel or education or something? Is she a lawyer?
She's in law school.
Is she?
She's in law school, yeah. She just finished up her first year of law school, matter of fact.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it's about law. I feel is something that has a lot to do with philosophy. I don't know whether they study Plato's works in law school, but I would imagine it's something that they at some point or another have an interest in. I think there's a certain amount of idealism involved in the law. You are trying to make people happy. You're trying to have things be fair. I think the Old Testament says it very well when they talk about King Solomon and how he invited the two women, or the women came to him with the problem of the child, and the one woman, he started to give the baby to the one woman. Or no, what did he do? He said that he was going to cut the baby in half and give half to one mother and the other to the other.
Right.
And the woman whose baby it was said, no, you have it. She gave her baby away to this other woman who was not the mother. And I think that the law is something that is trying to find these issues in life, and certainly the sign Sagittarius and the planet that rules Sagittarius, Jupiter, is a lot about trying to find the balance and the harmony in life so that we can live according to the best laws we can.
Okay, Mary, do you see anything in business for me?
In business, well, have you gone back to school recently? Is school something in your...
No, I haven't gone back to school. What I did recently was start my own business. You
started your own business,
right?
And is it something of a intellectual nature? I mean, what are you doing?
You're gonna laugh when I tell you that. I opened up a tavern.
A tavern?
Yes.
Oh, so you're a little bit of a psychologist. You want to deal with people.
Mixologist.
What?
A mixologist.
A mixologist.
Yeah, no, dealing with people is, big and keen on that, and really big on that. I'm very patient with people. So that's why I guess I'm a pretty good bartender. But this is my gig. I went into business, although I'm also working the business. I don't just own it and not run it. I'm there as well.
Right.
I'm a hands-on owner. But I was just wondering if you foresee anything in the future in terms of business for me, or,
well,
good or bad?
I think that right at the moment is a very good time. Jupiter has gone direct in yesterday, or the day before, the 2nd. What are we today? The 4th.
Today's the 4th.
Yeah, the day before yesterday, Jupiter went direct. Jupiter's the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So from now until the end of the year, Jupiter, the great benevolent dictator, is helping you with your new business, and I would think that there would be a strong indication that you should be able to expand and do well with it. I don't think you can negate the fact, though, with the Sun in Scorpio and Mercury in Scorpio, that you do like to get to the bottom of things, and you do like to, have these conversation with people, and you're not something that will just let things be light all the time. Sagittarius sometimes will.
Right.
So you have to allow that part of yourself that wants to, ruminate and get to the bottom of things.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
The phone number to call is 241-1310. You see it on the lower right-hand screen of the Mary Michele Astrology Show. Tracy is on line 1, and her birthday is August 18th, 1970. August 18th, 1970. Tracy, you're on the show.
Good morning, Tracy.
Hi.
Did you have a particular question?
Yes, actually, I've been doing like some reading on the stars and stuff. It's quite interesting to me, and I'm just trying to understand everything. I just got a couple of questions. I'm a Leo, as you know, and my boyfriend is a Libra. And I had a boyfriend before who also was a Libra. Actually, the days were just a day, their birthdays were a day apart, and that was a disaster. Now this is going much better, and I was just wondering, what do you see like where the stars hold like within the next 2 years as future-wise? I've been going out with him now for almost 2.5 years.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. You have Venus, the planet Venus, in the sign of Libra. It's at home there. It's in its own place. So this is probably what it is that is attractive to you about Libras, and also why they're attracted to you, why you're attracted to them, and why, well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, Venus is the planet of love. It's very harmonious with the Sun and Mars. You have Mars in Leo as well. You have Jupiter in Libra. You have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which is very nice. It's quite far, but and Uranus. You have a lot of Libra planets. So in a way, what you're projecting onto this person in the relationship is a part of yourself that is quite benevolent. I mean, I think Libra is probably a pretty good sign for you. Now, of course, you have to look at the whole chart. It's not something that I can do, like this just looking through the book. I have to figure out the ascendant and all the different things that I was trying to talk about before. But you do have the moon, August 18th. You have the moon in Pisces. So there's a very soft belly to you. The moon in Pisces is about someone that really has, tremendous compassion for people and wants to merge. So this is always going to be the difficulty that you will have with relationships. You have to try to keep yourself quite separate. It's too easy for you to kind of infiltrate and become like that other person. With the Leo sun, I think lots of times it will also help have this not happen. But the moon is a very powerful force. It's our habitual daily routines, things we don't think about. It's involuntary muscles. It's it's a very, very hard thing to break. So and it's a very nice thing. I mean, the moon in Pisces is not necessarily bad, but it can in relationships have you be too much like jumping into the ocean. You're becoming too much like that other person. I think as long as you continue to work on yourself, that the long-termness of the relationship will continue. So I hope I've been helpful.
About jumping into the ocean or, trying to be like him. Not necessarily trying to be like him, but I find that I want to be with him. I need to separate our relationship to where I can do things more on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I find that very difficult because I find I fall head over heels too fast in a way.
Right.
But like I said, this is going on for almost 2.5 years, and we've had our difficulties, but we've really, communicated well and worked them out. So hopefully everything will be all right. Where I'm from, I'm originally from Iowa in the Midwest, and for me it's hard. I'm going to be 25 this year. And I feel like I'm old. Very soon, because where I come from, that's the way it is. And he's going to be 28, so it's like I'm not pressuring marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like within the next couple of years, I will hope,
Mm-hmm.
what will happen.
Right. Well, I think as long as you keep the other things in your life busy as well, do you work?
Yes, I'm a nanny.
Yeah. I think, that you have to keep yourself active in these various other things that you do, but in terms of the separation in relationships, you do have to not become so much a part of the other person's psyche. And, I think that anytime you can have other relationships with other people that are not necessarily a romantic nature, but, Libra, all these planets in Libra are about having lots of different kinds of relationships, and that'll lessen the intensity of the one, the primary relationship, so you can step back and look at it with a little more distance from time to time. Okay, well, thank you very much for calling.
Thank you there, Tracy. And the number to call, 241-1310, The Mary Michele Show. Our astrologer here at WVIP, 241-1310 is the number to call. And we go to line 2, and I believe I'm pronouncing the name right. I hope I am. Patreon from Somers is watching Mary. The birthday is August 23rd, 1950. Line 2, hello.
Hello.
Hello. What was your name again?
My name is Patricia.
Oh, Patricia. Okay.
Funny spelling over here.
Okay.
August
right.
23rd, 1950, Mary, is Patricia's.
Okay. August 23rd. Okay. It's the last day of Leo.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that I had. I know that I'm on the cusp. And some places where you would read, it would be a Virgo, and other places it would be a Leo. And I didn't know which that I was, and is it really a combination of both?
There are, overflows one to the other. It depends on what time of day you were born. Do you know what time of day you were born?
Don't. And, I don't even think my mother knows.
Well, mothers, as a rule, aren't too accurate. It's better to go to the hospital or to most cities and towns and states have records, birth records, and the time is usually on it. So it's much better to go to that kind of an institution than rely, because, they're not really in great shape when it happens, mothers. So I think it's a little hard for them to... there have been mothers that have, been able to be very specific about it. But as a rule, you're better off to get it from a, more official kind of source. Anyway, you definitely have the moon in Capricorn. So that is something that will, that won't change. And you have Mercury in Virgo, and you have Venus in Leo. Mars in Scorpio. Mars is at home in Scorpio. It's the Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So you're a very, very hard worker. Probably, you like psychology or detective work or things that, wanting to get to the bottom of things. What kind of things do you do?
Well, I guess that's part of it. I'm coming out of a catastrophic illness, and I was a very hard worker, and now I find myself out job again, career. You have to rethink a lot of things when something like that hits you.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the time a very detailed-oriented person, and have to restructure and make a new life all over again.
Mm-hmm. Was this something that happened quite a long time ago?
I found out, March of '93 that I had cancer.
Mm-hmm. Well, this Mars in Scorpio is a very, it's a very sturdy Mars, and Mars is our energy. It's what helps us to heal and get better and so on. Were you, did you have an operation of some sort?
Yes, I had two, and I had a year anniversary where everything is well and everything is
great. That's great. Well, yeah, Mars in Scorpio would be about cutting out the problem. It's not about necessarily a long-term healing thing, but what it does is it gives you a lot of, as well as cutting out the problem, it gives you energy to heal yourself. You have Venus in Leo. So this is, this Mars Venus square. It's a hard angle between the two of them. This, is probably part of the thing of the. I don't want to say caused the illness, but is something that made, the male and female within yourself are at odds with each other. So Mercury in Virgo.